Uh, Week 3 assignment for SOC211 quantitative methods. Number 1, let us say that the mean weight of all Japanese sumo wrestlers is 330 pounds, with a standard deviation of 40 pounds. A wrestler named Mushimaru weighs 410 pounds. What percentage of sumo wrestlers weigh more than he does? Right off the bat, the answer that I got was 2.5 people weigh more. Here's my work for number 1. Right up here. So I used the z-score for z equals x minus x with the bar over it over standard deviation. So once I plugged in the numbers, because they gave us everything, so it was 410 minus 330 over 40 equals 2. So then I used the normal distribution curve, and with that, for 2, I did 100% minus 97.5% and got 2.5. So that was my answer for number 1, 2.5. For number 2, draw a normal distribution and divide it into 8 sections. Here's the normal distribution. I did 50%, and then 16% was my -1. 2.5% was my -2, and 0.5 was my -3, and then 84% was my +1, 97.5% was my +2, and 99.5 was my +3. And then this is just like a z-score definition, but like, yeah. So that's number 2. For number 3, the mean scores for a mathematics exam is 125 on a 200-point exam with a standard deviation of 30. You are told that your score is 1.5 standard deviations above the mean. There's 4 marks. What is your score? Show how you got your answer. So for question 3, part A, what is your score? Show how you got your answer. I got 170, and simply that, I did right up here with that curve, 125 in the middle. So then since the standard deviation was 30, I did +30 going over to +1, and then I halved it. So the standard deviation was 30, so I did half of that, which is 15. So 125 plus 130 plus 15 equals 170. And that's what I got for the score for 170. For B, draw your illustration. This was the illustration that I drew. I used 125, and then I just put my +1s, +1.5, +2, +3, my -1, -2, -3. For C, which was what percentage of the population being studied would fall between -1 and -1 standard deviation and +1. So for that, I drew the normal curve for this one. And then I did 84 plus 16, which got me to 68. So -1 standard deviation and +1 standard deviation is 68. And then for -2 and +2 is 95. And for that, I did 97.5 minus 2.5, and I got 95. So that's number 3. For number 4, a study based on a sample of students yields the following scores on a 10-point scale of cultural diversity awareness. Part A, construct a group frequency table with 5 groups evenly spaced. Part B, add a column for relative frequency for each group. Part C, add a column for cumulative frequency for each group. Okay, so part 4. Question 4. All right, so this is what my table looks like. So this is the group frequency table with 5 different groups. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Add a column for relative frequency. My column for relative frequency is right here. It is 25%, 25%, 16%, 33%, and then 0%. For cumulative frequency, it is 25%, 5%, 66%, 99%, and then again 0%. So those are the columns for that. But part 4, yeah. So my data points was 1 to 2. The frequency for that was 3. The relative frequency was 25%, and the cumulative frequency was 25%. For data points 3 to 4, the frequency was 3, the relative frequency was 25%, and the cumulative frequency was 50%. For data points 5 to 6, frequency was 2, relative frequency was 16, and the cumulative frequency was 66%. For data points 7 to 8, frequency was 4, relative frequency was 33, cumulative frequency was 99%. And for data points 9 to 10, frequency was 0, relative was 0, and cumulative was 0. And again, here's the table for number 4. So, yeah, thanks.